Hello?
Yes, Dr. Tilde?
Yeah, this is Aliyu Tilde from Nigeria.
Yeah, my brother. God bless you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm Brother Leroy along with Brother Sinke, and we've invited you on thanks to Brother Elijah because there are things that are going on in Nigeria, one of the largest population of black folks in the world as it relates to a country geographic area, that going on in Nigeria that we here need to know about. And I'd just like for you to go down a list of things that you are aware of that black people outside of Nigeria do not know but should know.
Yeah. Good evening. Sorry, I came in late. I didn't realize that the time has gone.
That's all right.
Actually, what is happening? Yeah.
That's all right. And I know there's a delay in the telephone transmission. That's all right. We got you. So, and you have a black audience here and others. So please share with us some of the things going on in Nigeria right now that we need to know about.
Okay. Well, what is going on in Nigeria is actually a continuation of what has been happening in the last 2 years. There has been an uprising or an insurrection by a group of militant Muslims that are commonly called Boko Haram. The encounter between them and the Nigerian the military that wants to control them has actually intensified in the last 3 weeks or so. Right now, 3 out of the 36 states in Nigeria is under emergency rule, where the rights and liberties of Nigerian citizens living in those areas would be at the mercy of the Nigerian military. And there are areas that are under 24-hour curfew. That is, people cannot go out of their homes. They have to remain there under any condition, whether they are sick or whether they don't have food, whatever it is, they are not allowed to come out. And actually, the humanitarian situation in those areas must be very, very bad. And unfortunately, the Nigerian military, the so-called JTF, has a very bad record of dealing with the civilian population in those areas. So the fear of most Nigerians is that now, under the emergency rule, their violations of human rights may intensify. But I'm much more concerned about the humanitarian disaster that will result from.
Oh, man.
Okay, and he'll get back with us, and that's it's just what we, in other words, the normal order of things. Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, is a very rich country, and it's out of sight, out of mind, but it does relate to black folks here in America, beyond our brothers coming from Nigeria and being vendors or being doctors. You have a lot of doctors, and if you go down to Washington, D.C., or some of the other metropolitan areas, you'll find Nigerians as cab drivers, but when you talk to them, they're not cab drivers. These are highly literate individuals.
Not only that, out of all of the countries in Africa, Nigeria has produced the most, let me even clarify, out of the world, they have the most people with a doctorate degree.
Dr. Tilde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We got you. We got you. The call dropped, but that's no big thing.
Sorry, I lost you. I hope you have had the explanation I've made.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I hope you have heard me before.
Yes, we heard you. You came through before. Then the call dropped. Let's go back a moment, because here in the States, anything that speaks of Islam, Muslims, is always tagged with Al Qaeda as being an outside group, or this spider web of intrigue. And what in terms of what's the Boko Haram, what connection does that have with the attacks on the oil refineries owned by the British and the Americans, and also the introduction of AFRICOM troops into that area?
Actually, there is no connection whatsoever. So far, there is nothing that has shown that there is a connection between the Boko Haram insurgency and AFRICOM or what is happening in the Niger Delta. Mind you, there are also militants in the southern part of Nigeria where the oil is drilled, that have a different purpose from Boko Haram. Most of their needs or most of their issues are material issues. And also in the central Nigeria, about just 2 weeks ago, about 95 agents of the federal government were killed by a secret cult. Not actually a secret cult, but by a native cult, even though it is not called a terrorist organization yet. And so you have this kind of violence here and there in Nigeria taking place. But that of the Boko Haram now is the central issue here, and all attention is on it.
And what section of Nigeria is the Boko Haram in having its impact?
It is largely in the northeastern part of the country. I am in the northeast right now, actually, but they are farther away, around the Lake Chad area, and it covers Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. The three have been put under the emergency rule. These three, but Boko Haram has carried out attacks in as far away as Abuja, Kano, Sokoto, Niger, and other areas in the north. But it hasn't carried out any attack yet in the south.
What is at the root of their being in this warlike state?
Initially, they are a militant Islamic group that wants to establish Sharia, at least in the northern part of the country, if not in the whole country. And they have a lot of misgivings about the manner in which Western education is given. But they, unlike other groups, turned out to be militant. And at a point, about 20-something members of their groups were killed by the Nigerian police, and that actually provoked the present conflict. That was, I think, in 2009 or so, and there was a crackdown on their members in Bauchi, in Borno, and Yobe and Gombe as well. But they went underground for a year and then came back in 2010 or 2011 or thereabout. And for the past 2 years, there has been many instances of their raids on some towns and villages, on some banks maybe, and you have heard about Baga, you have heard about Bama, and so on, where many military agents and security officials have also been killed, just as they too kill many of the Boko Haram members as well as civilians.
Where,
but mind you, it is not only the Yeah.
No. Mind you, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah. Mind you, it is not all the attacks that are associated with Boko Haram. Armed robbers and other criminals also seize the opportunity to raid banks and so on. Yeah.
And where are the arms coming from? Where are the weapons coming from? And are they,
Yes,
what is the quality of weapons?
Borno has a border with Chad and with Niger. And particularly the fall of Gaddafi in Libya has increased the flow of arms southward, into the Sahara and across it into Nigeria, definitely. And that area would be the first area to come into contact with those arms. And Chad has for a long time been a fighting zone between various power groups. And so the northeastern part of the country is actually exposed to the high level of infiltration of arms. I think that are coming from North Africa.
And when it comes down to the trade, what is being exchanged for the weapons? Is there minerals? Is there cash? What?
Yeah, dollars, cash. The Nigerian naira changes to the dollar at the rate of $1 to 156 naira or 160 naira or so, and when a bank is raided, millions of naira will be carted away with, and that could be converted in the black market into dollars, and it can be used in the international market, black market, of course.
And so Boko Haram is one of the aspects that's going on in Nigeria that we should know about. What is another issue that we blacks in the West should be knowing about as it relates to Nigeria or even the surrounding nations?
Well, basically, what you should note is that Nigeria is becoming increasingly weak as a result of bad administration. There is an intensification of corruption in the government, in incompetence of government officials, and so on. So naturally, like you have in many other African countries, scenarios like this will continue to happen, and I don't think that there is any day that would come when we will not have one form of conflict or another as a result of maladministration.
And what about the educated class or the educated group within Nigeria? Are they staying? Are they moving abroad? Are they educated? And I put that in quotes. Are they educated in England and America and coming back and doing what?
Well, actually, one thing is that Nigeria has a very high number of educated, you would say, people in quotes, and most of them obviously are here in Nigeria. Nigeria has a population of 160 million people, so everyone in four, Africans is a Nigerian. So we have a huge human resource here. Of course, there are many that have gone to the U.S., to England, and to many other, countries overseas. But there's a huge human resource here in the country. But the problem is that the entire economy depends on government patronage. And the government itself, gets its money, I would say, from, the commission it gets from oil companies. Mm-hmm. So it is a rentier economy, and it is based on the, the patronage one would have in the government. So even though you have this large number of educated people, but they seem to be government dependent. And so they cannot effectively fight against the excesses of government and against the maladministration that we have been talking about, bad governance, essentially.
So what are the industries in Nigeria, aside from the oil industry? Okay, you have this educated class, and when they look for jobs, they become, what you're portraying is that they become a part of a government bureaucracy doing whatever they do. What about the other people? What about the uneducated? What about the ones who don't have a college degree? What about the women in Nigeria?
Well, one must note that Nigeria is actually a traditional society, almost to the core. And it is an agrarian one, more than an oil country. The majority of households in Nigeria, about 70% of them are farmers, actually. So the land is very fertile, and so people cultivate it.
Hold on,
for food.
Hold on, Doctor.
Largely for self.
Dr. Tilde.
And few do so for cash purposes.
Okay, Dr. Tilde, hold on a second. While we identify ourselves.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I asked a question right at the time that we had to do station identification, but I want you to go back. You said 70% of the...
of Nigerian families actually are agrarian. I mean, they are farmers. They actually cultivate the fertile Nigerian land for food, which they sell part of it, and they survive on the other part. There is very little mechanized farming going on because of the huge population of farmers. It is very difficult for mechanized farming actually to survive, because it will be competing with these farmers that have zero cost of labor and so on. They go to farm with their children, with their wives possibly, and so on. But what has actually crippled the manufacturing industry in Nigeria is the lack of electricity. Nigeria is very, very notorious for its lack of electricity. There is blackout always. Right now, as I talk to you, there is no electricity, and there may not be electricity for many hours, or perhaps for many days as well. And no one gives a damn, actually, because no one can challenge the government. And millions or billions of dollars actually allocated for the revitalization of electricity plants in various parts of the country. But then those dollars just go down the drain, and nobody questions it. Even if you question it, you are essentially ignored by the government. You are not arrested. You are allowed to make any noise you want to make, but then it ends there, just as a noise.
Now listen, what you said is that there's money allocated for the needed things, and the money disappears. Nothing is done. Now listen. See, we kind of have a vested spiritual interest in this electricity piece because there's a brother here in our community in Harlem who has put up solar energy in either Sierra Leone or in Liberia, one of the two places, and actually taught the individuals in that particular village how to maintain it. So he creates a situation where he's not blood-sucking the individuals after, or the town after they contract. So the question is, what opportunity? Nigerians, the reputation of Nigerians here in my community, I'm talking about people I know, is that Nigerians are swift. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, when I say swift, they are some of the best talkers in the world. And plus, some other things. But what chance or opportunity would an individual who has the skill of conveying solar energy technology to some Nigerian people, what opportunity does exist for that individual to do some business over there? Or is it, it just can't trust anybody or whatever?
No, there is enormous potential for him if he will come over and operate within the private sector. I, for one, would like to see my electricity demands being met here in my house by myself using solar energy. I mean, I can have a sun here. We have a lot of sunshine here for most part of the year. The sun shines here, so we can harvest it. I mean, in every home, and there are a lot of bourgeoisie in Nigeria. I mean, that can afford that, and we look forward in the next 20 years that many homes, if not most homes, would be powered maybe by alternative energy. I mean, so I believe that the alternative energy market in Nigeria will soon realize a boom. We just need people to come and just show us this roof, and we are ready to buy them. I believe many Nigerians are ready to buy them.
Beautiful. Well, I know one brother. He'll be contacting me. He'll be contacting us to contact you. On that issue of trained professionals, whether it's in a white collar or whether it's blue collar tradesmen, blacks who have earned degrees and skills here in the U.S. and because of white supremacy are not getting the jobs that they rightfully are qualified for. What opportunities exist in Nigeria, given the fact that you have a huge population of educated individuals? What opportunities might exist in Nigeria?
Well, I don't know if they would be able to live with live under the conditions here in Africa. I believe they will make a fortune. I mean, anybody that would come to Nigeria with a value to add to the country, I believe will make a lot of money. At least he will make a livelihood, and he will live under a lot of the freedom, as I said, that the government is not after people in as much as we allow them to continue to loot the treasury. But if they will come and work within the purview of the private sector, I believe there are various areas that people can invest. And for those that would like to come and seek for jobs, it is left to them to come and to prove their worth in the area of education, in the area manufacturing, engineering, and so on. Yes, why not?
There are those of us in the segment of the community that Brother Elijah and myself and Brother Sinke come from. We look at opportunities in Africa of being a cooperative in a cooperative manner, as opposed to coming in like a colonialist or an asset of the colonialist to take advantage of our own people. So, and it's a matter of how receptive folks that just from your own sphere of influence, Nigerians would be to cooperative efforts of trade and learning and making a living where there's a win-win situation for everyone concerned. That's the. No, go ahead.
That's right. The days of colonialism are gone, and I doubt even if the white man himself from England or from the U.S. can come and sort of impose himself on Nigerians. One thing with Nigerians, is that they like liberty and they want to live by it, actually. But what I'm saying is that if anybody has something of value to add to the economy of the country, certainly the money is here for him to gain. Okay. I mean, for him to earn, actually. So that's it. The person should look at his, area of the competence, and then begin to interact with Nigerians in that area, and particularly if he's coming with an investment, that would be very good.
Dr. Tilde, as we conclude, we only have 3 more minutes. Share with us your observation of China's involvement in Africa. I don't know about their involvement in Nigeria. Share with us your observations or the observations of other Africans.
Well, summarily, China is flooding our market with fourth-rate goods, not even second or third, but maybe fourth-rate goods.
Fourth-grade goods.
Fourth-rate.
For that, with very, very poor quality goods, actually, and it is really bad. 2, they are here in the mining sector that is not well organized, at least in this country, and it is less organized, I believe, in many other countries in Africa. And I think what they are involved in is that they are ransacking the mineral resources of Africa for just peanuts. It is very unfortunate, but that is very little that people can do. As I said, that sector is not organized, and I think that is the area where China is interested most. And going back to the agriculture of Nigeria, just in terms of the individual farmers, what capacity do they have of producing, maybe you mentioned it, of producing food that would serve the population of Nigeria? Or is there... No, they do have the capacity to feed the nation. There is no doubt about that. Nigerians have the capacity to feed the nation. The fertile land is there, and the number of people you need to cultivate it is there. But there are other things. The issue of market, the issue of subsidy, and that has been withdrawn by the government, which means that the farmers will have to compete with maybe Thailand and so on in terms of rice. And in terms of rice, and of course with China in terms of textiles and so on. And they cannot compete effectively because there is no subsidy. And they cannot compete with the U.S. in the case of wheat because there is no subsidy. And there are things like that. While there is other countries.
Oh, the wheat and the rice that's subsidized in America can undercut the rice and the wheat that's grown.
Of course, because that is, mechanized farming, and it comes with a lot of subsidy by the U.S. government.
Yes.
I mean, here there is no subsidy, whether it is for fertilizer or for the energy you use on your farm, for a tractor, for anything. Government will not give you a dime. It doesn't even know that you are farming. It doesn't even care.
And the women are the, in terms of the structure of the culture, the women are the merchants. Is that the way it goes?
No. Nigerians are free to do whatever. You have a lot of women on the farm. You have a lot of women in the market as well. So it actually depends on the interest and the culture of the individual. The Muslim women mostly are not involved in, activities outside the house as usual, as you find in other Muslim countries as well. But in the majority of non-Muslim populations, you find a lot of women in the market.
Okay.
Being petty traders and so on.
Last question, Dr. Tilde, and that is moringa. Are you familiar with that?
Moringa?
Yeah, moringa.
Yeah, I can even see some 5 plants.
Yes.
Of moringa here in my house. We use it as part of our meal sometimes. Yeah, we call it zogale in Hausa.
And tell us what it's good for.
Oh, it is one of the plants that have the highest medicinal values, actually. Yeah.
Sinke is in here talking about
but here we use it largely for food. Sort of.
Right. You mix it in with your food or your drink.
Yeah, not drink, but for food actually.
Okay. In other words, you use the actual
the leaves.
The leaf.
Yeah. We use the leaves between meals, sort of. But we don't. As a drink, we have other plants that we use. Hibiscus is there, and others.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to invite you back to talk about the herbs, brother.
Okay.
We need.
Or I can link you with experts in that area.
Okay, we're going to pursue that because that's an area that we need to know about because that's part of our culture, and the knowledge that you have is, that expert. So we'll connect with Brother Elijah on that. I want to thank you very, very, very much, and make this as often as we can so that we have some insight coming from our homeland, and so we can establish that link that needs to be there and move forward together, taking advantage of our background. My brother, I want to thank you, Dr. Tilde. God bless you, my brother.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Communicators. We're waiting on a young lady who is going to tell us about an event. Okay, Brother Leroy. That was Brother Leroy Itis.
Yeah, there she is right now.
Okay, let me see. God bless you.
Yes, Brother Leroy.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I'm waiting on another guest.
Hi, this is Matu King. I'm calling in about the event on the 25th.
On the 25th. All right. Thank you for your black patience. Give me your name again.
Ma'atu King.
Ma'atu.
Yes, sir.
Ma'atu King. And share with us this very interesting event. You're bringing in someone from the south of
from Florida.
From Florida.
Yes.
And tell us about this individual.
Elder Derek and his wife Evangelist Vanessa Foster are coming to the National Black Theater this Saturday at 2 p.m. It's a free event, and it's a special presentation in prosperity and economic empowerment.
And what is that which qualifies them to share the points that they are going to share with us?
Very good point. Under their guidance and leadership, the Fosters have helped over 120,000 people stay in their homes, become debt-free, fund a family or a charitable trust, set up a nest egg, pay off medical bills. They've even helped churches keep themselves from insolvency. They've saved churches from insolvency. And they give us a methodology for creating transferable wealth for our loved ones and heirs.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been going on since January of 2012.
Okay.
That they have been interacting with people facing foreclosure and other aspects to keep their homes.
Pay off their medical bills. They've helped people who were in hospitals, couldn't pay their medical bills, women who have become a widow and had no way to provide for their families, and they help people from all walks of life.
Now, how did you come into contact with them?
Through this program of outreach.
Okay, this program of outreach is called what?
Well, that's what we're hoping people will come out and hear them. It's a completely free program. It's about prosperity and economic empowerment in the real sense, not just in theory, even though they do provide scriptural references and economic demonstrations from the Bible. But like I said, you can be from all walks of life, and because it is Memorial Day weekend, we're hoping to have a really nice reception to receive them. This is the first time that they've come to our area. Is
there a website that they have?
No, but you can email the Fosters at teamfostersupport@aol.com.
teamfostersupport@aol.com.
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking again, how did you come into contact with them?
Well, I was introduced to them by a sister. I didn't get permission to give out her name.
No, we're asking the circumstances because you're presenting someone.
Right.
Go ahead.
A sister that I knew, that I've known for decades in the Harlem area, had introduced me to them. She had gained in prosperity through their mentorship and efforts. They hold annual extravaganzas every year in Florida. They're with the Greater Faith Christian Center. Actually, you have heard of Elder Derek Foster by the news in September 2011. You recall a story where a gunman, I'm sorry to say, killed his wife and then came into the church.
Yeah.
And started firing at the congregation.
Right.
Well, that was Elder Foster who tackled the gunman to the ground, and in the course of making sure he protected all the other congregants, he injured himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was through a calling that he received to begin this work.
Oh, at that time?
Yes, this was back in September 2011.
And what does he say about his calling? What was the epiphany?
He has shared with his wife, Evangelist Foster, that he was called to take up this effort. I believe that's he will be meeting directly with members of the clergy, pastors, different faith ministries, directly after the presentation on a one-on-one basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't necessarily want to paraphrase him. I'm hoping people can come out and have a chance to meet him and allow him to speak about his experience directly for himself. I know you had invited me on your call by Lamont Fenner, who will be interviewing the Fosters tonight at 9.
Oh, beautiful.
Show. Jazz
Okay.
Break at 8. So I hope they'll be on at 9 o'clock. I hope you don't mind my mentioning that if people would like to hear from the Fosters themselves.
Well, only Negroes would mind that. You know, Negroes get into a thing, man, this is my show, man. No, we salute knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and I'm glad that I asked you the series of questions because that sets the audience up for Farouk Lamont Finner tonight, and they can interact with the Forsters directly if Finner doesn't have problems on the phone like Brother Leroy does. Brother Leroy I be like bacon grease be on my fingers. You understand? But what was your impression, Sister Ma, to that would lead you to even organize this event for their introduction to the Harlem community?
I am so inspired by them, and I appreciate people who are effective and actually deliver concrete results. For instance, I've been a longtime friend and supporter of Brother Youssef, who brings solar energy to various countries in Africa.
Right.
So I appreciate individuals who have concrete results that improve and better individuals' lives. I listened to your program earlier and heard Dr. Lori talk about her literacy program.
Right.
And it's that kind of effectiveness. When you hear this brother speak on his pastor call, they have every other week. The next one won't be till June after they've left the area.
Mm-hmm.
I am so impressed by the commitment and volition and their level of faith that it just transferred to you that understanding, knowledge, and awareness that we don't have to live impoverished lives.
Right.
This is economic literacy that is actually saving people's lives.
Right.
I have a great love and passion for my daughter. It hurts me that I have nothing to leave her. One of the things that we as a people lack is inheritable wealth, transferable wealth. To allow me to set up a legacy and know that my community organizations, nonprofits, individuals, we can actually have transferable wealth to empower not just our lives but future generations. I'm very passionate about that.
And as a mother, you are not alone.
Yeah.
You know, as a mother, you're not alone, and there are a lot of widows in our community, widows in quotation, simply because the attack on black people has taken a heavy toll on the men, the family, and the women are left out here to fend for themselves. And so this meeting is very, very critical. It's a very, very valuable for folks who are just curious. It's worth going, and that's once again this Saturday coming at 2 p.m.
at the National Black Theater, and I think just about everyone knows that that's at 2031 Fifth Avenue, between 125th and 126th Street. And they don't have to worry. They won't be taking up a love offering or a free will donation. We just want you to come, meet the Fosters. And I don't think Elder Derek will mind my saying so. He mentioned at one point during his pastoral counseling, he has so many brothers who come to him apprehensive and angst about not being able to provide for their family, even to start or embark upon a family, and how this has allowed someone to just become enabled to take up that position as a provider for their family and loved ones.
Well, the word to the wise is sufficient, and the opportunity is there for us to gain some knowledge. It doesn't cost anything but time. 2 o'clock this coming Saturday afternoon, and we wish you the very best. Tonight on Farouk Lamont Finner's show, he comes on at 8. He's off at 10. I believe that's the timing. At 9 o'clock, he's interviewing the Forsters so folks can tune in, get a firsthand knowledge of who they are, how they feel about them, and go from there. My sister Ma too, God bless you. Thank you for your patience in sharing with us this information.
Thank you.
God bless you, my sister.
Day.
Peace.
You too. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for Sister Stephanie and the Inside Sports. And we ain't gonna talk about the Knicks and Negroes. When the chips are down, what happens is that they slide a woman on you, and that's the oldest trick in the world. And if you're dumb enough, you fall for it, and the rest is history. But tomorrow morning on Respect for Life, the good Lord willing, our show will be the healing power of music. And we have a brother who is a composer for Burning Spear and other groups, and he'll be with us at 9 o'clock tomorrow. May God continue to bless you, your family, and we thank you for your support of WHCR. Buy the Amsterdam. No, I can't tell you to buy the Amsterdam News. They get me on that. Read the Amsterdam News, and be sure to read the column on Gerald Dees. And there's also a story in there on WHCR in the current issue of the Amsterdam News. And you can read the final call. You just look at it in the brother's hand. Don't buy it from him. Just read it right there. I can't tell you to buy the paper because they get me on anti-Semitism if I told you about the final call and Minister Farrakhan. So that's the kind of world we live in. People who read the paper, who are outside of our community, don't want you to read it. God bless you all. Peace.
Aaron Davis Hall presents a Father's Day weekend celebration with Grammy Award winner Ramsey Lewis. Jazz Master Ramsey